Hey everyone, this is Robert from Ignite Website Marketing, and I'm here with the sophisticated man Tino. How's it going, buddy?
Good, man. Thanks for having me again.
Oh yeah, always a pleasure, man. Thanks. What's been going on with you?
Just been busy. Just been working on the YouTube channel, putting out content, growing the business, just working through some administrative stuff. But yeah, I've been keeping myself busy lately. That's for sure.
Well, that is awesome. I mean, we got to stay busy, right?
That's right.
Cool. Well, let's go into today's topic, and that is about developing social confidence. And it seems that this is like, do you think a lot of guys have a hard time with social confidence? And you think is that important, not just have social confidence, not just to meet women, but to use that in other areas of your life too?
Yeah, most definitely. I think social confidence is important, like you said, in a lot of different areas. Not just with meeting women, but meeting a potential business partner or meeting coworkers or meeting potential friends or even family members in some occasions, like just connecting with them. So
Mm-hmm.
being social is incredibly important. Knowing how to create those connections with people, it can really take you a long way. And I think
Mm-hmm.
the first part of your question, like the biggest thing that I think gets in the way is I feel like it can be pretty intimidating for a lot of guys. And they maybe think that, oh, well, I don't know how to talk to people or I don't know how to get things started in a conversation. Um, so I think that, at least for me, that's what I thought growing up. Like it was always kind of hard to create that connection.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think maybe a lot of guys have the same mindset.
Yeah, well, I was like, I think feel like I was that way. Like maybe, I mean, I was social, but like I wasn't that social where I can just
Right.
randomly walk around in public and start conversations, not just with guys, but with girls and stuff. And I think it's just
Mhm.
like a habit. And I think, yeah, like you're saying, a lot of guys just don't know what to say. But also, it's also about like the fear, I guess, of just talking to other people and being
Sure.
judged by other people.
Hmm. Yeah, that plays a big role into it. Like, I know for me, I would always fear, what is this person gonna think of me if I walk up to a random group of people and just start like BSing?
Mm-hmm.
Um, because like I'll sometimes see somebody and like want to say something and not do it because I'm like, oh well, there's somebody next to them. Maybe they'll like hear what I'm saying, think I'm
Mm-hmm.
weird, or like look at me strange. And I think a lot of guys have that mindset too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so funny. Even though like I go out and do social, I still get that same thought. Like if there's like a group of people nearby,
Yeah.
what it was like, what do what are these people gonna think about me? Yeah, I think a lot
Mhm.
of it too is because I like to kind of, oh no, I kind of have I have good hearing, and so I kind of feel
Yeah.
like I eavesdrop. So maybe I think when I'm
Uh-huh.
going to talk with someone, they're eavesdropping on me, especially if I'm going to be like direct with a girl. Like, I'm like, oh my
Mhm.
god, what are they gonna like say about me if I, just for being direct when I say how hot this girl is. So
Yep.
yeah, it does. I can see how that fear would hold someone back.
Mhm. Definitely. And for me too, like I overanalyze like everything. So if I see a group of people, I'm already sizing them up, seeing like, okay, their body language is facing towards me. They're clearly looking at me. They're thinking something about me. And like I'll go over in depth with that analysis, and sometimes that even stops me, just because I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm so like aware of what's happening.
Right. Well, you think that's what the problem is? That like I think we just as guys just tend to overanalyze stuff.
Hmm.
Like we look like way too much into things. We think worst case scenario and everything, and we're
Hmm.
like we just kind of like say well this person isn't going to want to talk to me, or maybe it's like you're judging other people too.
Sure. Yeah, and that could easily be a reflection on just your own internal dialogue as well, like you said. Like if you're thinking people are judging you or could potentially judge you, there might be some truth to that internal judgment you maybe have of yourself. Of like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I can't approach this group of people and start a conversation. That would be weird, or
Mm-hmm.
that would
Yeah,
be
Randall was
that'd be just
saying the
strange.
same thing. Yeah, projecting your own
Projection of your
thoughts.
thoughts.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
I don't know, like, yeah, it's just, and I don't know. My biggest thing too, like, again, this probably falls under the same category, but when just starting an interaction, like, I would, it'd be like, okay, what is she gonna say about what I, say I'm just being honest with someone, and direct. I think about how the person's gonna react.
Hmm.
But sometimes I learn to deal with that by just being having presence of mind and just kind of learning to be like in the moment rather. And when I do think those thoughts, when they come up, I just say I'm going to do it anyways. I mean, you can't let it hold back. Remember, you got to have the discipline. You got to
Yeah.
discipline yourself to do that.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Like I get the same type of feeling too. Um, Thinking of like what this person's gonna say, how they're gonna react to me. But the mindset that I started taking on, and I'm still kind of working through it, but like focusing on just my action, not on somebody else's reaction, because you can't control what someone else is gonna do,
Right, that's
what they're gonna
true.
say to you. You can only control what you do in that situation. So trying to come at it with that mindset and staying focused on yourself is a good way to help with that.
Mm-hmm. Right. So what would you say would be a good way to like maintain that focus? Like, I mean, you can say that, but what would be a best like course of action for someone to take to stay focused? Is,
Sure.
is it just like kind of going out there and just doing it and learning to develop the habit of staying focused?
Hmm.
I know you can also like I know you talked a bit about on some of your streams about like meditation and stuff, like just
Right.
practice being present and stuff like that.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's a multi-layered answer. So like part of what you're saying too is having that meditation, having that presence, and practicing that even before you go out and potentially be social with people. Get your mind right, get your center correctly, like sit, breathe, do some exercises like that. Um, I think it's called priming right before you go out. Like just get yourself in the right mental space to feel ready and excited to go out. That's usually what I do, and I guess like in the moment, it's a good way to just like you said, just keep approaching people. If starting with like the low hanging fruit, like just saying hi to people and just kind of
Yep.
getting that rolling, and then once you say hi a few times and that feels comfortable, start saying, "Hey, how's your day going?" Like open up a question and then kind of get that momentum rolling.
Right.
So it's,
Yep.
it's like a domino effect.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, and that's when I worked with my mentor. Probably like start when I worked with him 2 years ago. Like before he even had me go talk to women, he said we did like 3 weeks worth of exercises where you just say hi. I know it's like a
Hmm.
super like lame, but this kind of preps you for, you know, getting in that state of mind where you can be socially active. And
Right.
I find whenever I tend to like lag when I want to go out and be social. That's just how I do it. I start with like the high stuff, or just
Hmm.
like I do a comment, just something to get my social skills motors rolling and everything.
Definitely. Yeah, it's key. I mean, I went out solo not too long ago, and I went to a familiar venue, so I knew the bartender, I knew the
Mm-hmm.
bouncer, I knew people there. And when I went, I started talking to the bartender after he gave me a drink. I was like, "Yo, what's up, man? How's your day going? Whatever, whatever." And just to get the ball rolling, like just to get my social juices flowing. And then after that, there was like a group of girls like across the way, and they're just sitting by themselves. So I felt comfortable enough to walk up to them and be like, "Hey, what's up, guys? How's your night going?" And
Mm-hmm.
then just from there, it didn't really turn into anything because they ended up leaving. But that momentum carried in the rest of the night because as people came in, I was just saying hi to everybody, and you kind of seem like the guy who knows everyone at that point. So it's 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 so important to just get that ball rolling as soon as possible because it'll
Mm-hmm.
just kind of carry over to everything.
Right. No, I agree. Like, that's a strategy I have implemented. Like, I just like, even when I see the bartender, I'll have a conversation with the bartender.
Hmm.
Just have a brief conversation with the person next to me, guy or girl, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, once you can just like start taking that small steps to building that social momentum, that will
Hmm.
just kind of push you to like, break out of your comfort zone and be more social with other people. And like you can not only do this at a bar, but when you're out in a public place, when I'm walking
Right.
around like downtown Phoenix and stuff, I just go, build like my momentum. I do the same thing. I say hi, how's it going? I do a comment, or I just make a statement about something, observe an observation.
Hmm.
And once I kind of get that ball rolling, I'm just like, okay, I'm ready to go talk to these girls. I'm ready,
Yeah.
or any preparing for any other social
Anybody.
event.
Yeah, it's like you're just getting yourself into the mood of being talkative, of being social, and kind of like it's like riding a roller coaster. Like at the first time, it's like super intimidating. You didn't do it for a long time, or maybe you've never rode a roller coaster before. But once you do it, like, yeah, this ain't so bad. Like
Mm-hmm.
same thing applies when you're talking to people. Say hello to a couple people, ask them how their day is, maybe say a comment or something. You're like, man, people are actually more open to talking than I thought. Because like sometimes guys think, well, no one wants to talk to me. Like no one wants to be social. It's just I'm just that guy that it doesn't work for me. But when you do it so often, you're like, yo, that was all in my head.
Right. Yeah, exactly. No, that's true, and that's what I realized. A lot of like this all these thoughts and stuff. It's all just what we have in our head. And again, like we're going back to earlier, our judgments and about other people and everything. And you just got to put yourself out there. And I
Yeah.
realized too, like the more you work on being social, the more at first it's going to be difficult. It's going to be like you're going to stutter a bit. I mean, it's going to be frustrating, and you're going to get flustered and shit. But I've learned, like I've been practicing being better socializing probably for about 3.5 years right now, and I'm still developing. Like I'm at a point now where I'm more authentic. I can just
Right.
like put on like just show my full attitude. And I think the more comfortable like we become, as guys like just being social, we can be more comfortable with being ourselves, and that's when we'll really shine. And that's why I recommend it's like when you're always out there, even if you're not planning to go approach a girl, just go be social with anyone because that's just gonna like prepare you, and you're gonna the book The Compound Effect, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like compounding. Before you know it, like you're gonna be like kicking butt, in the social realm.
Yeah, exactly. And I think on that point that you just mentioned, like, and I actually have a video kind of talking about this, but like guys sometimes, and myself included, if we just put all that pressure on ourselves, like, oh, I got to go and approach 50 girls, I got to get so many numbers, I got to make this happen, that can sometimes put pressure on you. And it's like you view women almost as this like unreachable kind of goal when if you just approach social interaction, just talking to anybody, guy, girl, whoever, getting into that momentum, it makes it easier to like if you when you do see a girl you're attracted to, it's like, oh, I'll just talk to her. I talked to 10 people already. It's like it's not that big of a deal. So it's like putting it back into perspective and like making sure you don't think it's completely out of realm of possibility.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, that's true. Well, I think that, like, again, the more you become more social, like, I think the more of a habit it becomes for you
Yeah.
too. And like, it just like instantly turns, you're switched on. And you're just ready to be social.
Hmm. Yeah, it's like anything. It's like any kind of habit you're building. Once you do it enough times, it becomes easy, and eventually it just becomes part of who you are.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, I'm just reading this comment. I think one of the barriers, Spin Doctor says, I think one of the barriers is stressing outcome versus learning to
Hmm.
be social and charismatic.
That's a big one. Yeah, thinking too far ahead into the future before you even take action. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. Just
Mm-hmm.
being present, being in the moment to what happens.
Why is it that you think like we kind of look far into the future? Like, why do we get that
Hmm.
urge? And like we were talking about being, presence of mind and everything, but why do you think
Right.
that is? Like, is it just because we're guys we overanalyze stuff, or like,
I think that's part of it. I think as men we're very logical thinkers, and we use that part of our brain typically more than women. Not saying women don't, but that's just kind of how we're wired. Like we like to analyze, we like to see numbers, we like to see results, we like to see the plan and how it's going to look. And sometimes you can't see the full plan until you start kind of moving towards it. Um, so I think that's part of it, just being guys. But I think another piece is too like just being being anxious and like not being secure with and comfortable with yourself and kind of projecting like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen, fearing the unknown.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all like a mindset. Like again, mindset
Yeah,
plays a big importance into becoming socially confident. Just the way you think about yourself can impact how you're going to be in a social environment.
hmm, yeah, definitely. That vibe carries out into other people. Like if you're if you're feeling like you're someone who's a charismatic guy, who's confident in himself, he feels good about what he has to offer, people will feel that, especially women. When you're talking to them, they can feel that vibe that they're giving off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's like that can be a challenge because like sometimes we just again just because you get into your head you project on things that's going to affect your mood.
Right.
I think like the best way I'm trying to I work with dealing with that is just to kind of again not worry about what other people think. You just gotta if you just gotta like yourself and just so much and you just gotta just put yourself out there without being fear of being judged by other people and judging people. And again, this all is about being present and everything. But this is
Totally.
a habit that has to be developed.
Yeah, it comes with just having enough repetitions. And like you said, man, like when you value your opinion about yourself more than other people's opinion, it's just you reach a new level of confidence and just of like charisma when you really get there.
Mm-hmm. No, and I definitely agree with you. Yeah, when we can kind of, you know, just value what we have to say and value who we are as guys, when we go to put ourselves out there, yeah, we can project that confidence. And I think, like, again, it's just like something, even if you don't feel like you can do that right now, I think it's just something you got to act upon so you can start building that. Because if you once, like, again, the more action you take in your social life, the the more comfortable you're going to be with being social, the more skills you're going to develop. Like, and I always see myself. I know I've developed. I've come a long way, and I learn new things about myself, and I become I'm more confident in my social interactions.
Yeah, it's like action's the biggest thing. Like you said, I mean, you could read a book about how to be social or how to start a business or how to make money or anything, but like none of that's going to actually happen until you put yourself out there and get it rolling. So action is as simple as it sounds. It's kind of like the answer for a lot of problems. Like just kind of putting yourself out there and getting going.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, that's true. Like, because it's when you go out there and take the action that's when you're going to learn how to develop the skill. That's when you're going to like test to see what's working and what's not working, and from
Right.
there you can just kind of calibrate your strategy as far as being social.
Definitely.
And oh no, another thing like I kind of recommend to people too, just to kind of get out there and be social. Is there's this of Meetup.com, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a good tool for people to kind of who are having a hard time being social or just don't know too many people to kind of get out there and be with like-minded individuals because you're in an environment where your people are there for the same thing. It's something you can connect with, and plus that's just going to help you make more friends and become socially confident. Funny thing, I actually run a meetup group now for singles. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
never thought it'd be yeah, I never thought I'd be doing that. But when I first moved here to Arizona, I mean I had a hard time making friends, and I was out here on my own. All my friends were back home in Michigan, and I'll be honest, I was that guy. I signed up for some of these meetup events and I didn't go because it's like I got in my head about it, but I had to overcome that challenge and just say, hey, I got, you're gonna like say when you don't go to these things, you're gonna sit down here one day, God, life sucks. Why don't I have any friends? I'm like, well, you're
Yeah.
the one who's not taking the right action. You're letting your fears and anxiety hold you back. And if you want to get what want to get, you got to not let your fears and emotions and thoughts hold you back and just go out there and do it. And so I just took the action, went to the meetup events, and I made a lot of friends, and I've also had a lot of fun with some girls that I met on there too.
Yeah.
But it all wouldn't have happened though if I wouldn't have taken the initiative. And like even at these meetup events too, you can go up there and just practice social skills with people, because you're going to be around people you don't know. You can say, hi, my name is so and so, and then just say, what do the common comfortable one is, hey, what do you do for a living? That's as far as
Right.
interaction. And then from there, like you can like learn how different conversations start. I know, like when I'm at these meetup events now, and I'm not saying no offense, but a lot of people do the hey, how you doing? As what do you do for a work? And I'm just like, oh God, I remember when I used to use that line all the time. But no, it's a good, comfortable, like I mean, it's a good, comfortable conversation starter. I think, like,
Yeah.
even when I was going to learn how to get good with women, I mean, I know they say don't talk about work, but when I be a, do a direct opener, I just said say something about her, and I just go, "What do you do?" And just just to kind of build conversate my conversational skills from there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with talking about work. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's an easy opener because obviously, like, it's people are usually interested in what they do. Well, hopefully, people are interested in what they
Yeah, well,
do.
I've come across I've had some conversations with women who don't. They're like
Yeah.
they say stuff, so it's really hard to really be like when they say like office clerk or grocery store lady. It's hard to be like, oh, it sounds exciting, because they know it's not exciting.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm glad you brought up Meetup because that's another great resource out there for people just to go out and meet like-minded people. Like if you're interested in music, you can take a class that is geared towards learning an instrument or having like a music class. There's tons of that on Meetup. There's mixers. There's like cooking classes. There's like just different things that if you're interested in, you can go find people that have similar interests, and even that
Mm-hmm.
alone is a really good opener because you could be like, oh, you're really into X Y Z. Like, what made you take this class? It's so
Mm-hmm.
easy to meet people with common interests, and it's a
Right.
awesome resource.
Well, especially even at the single events too. A lot of the people I notice they're all from out of state. I mean, we got a lot of transplants here, so I mean, you can go
Hmm.
to those, and most of the people there are either single, just want to go out and make new friends, or they're from out of state and they want to meet new people too. So, yeah, I would recommend like, yeah, guys, don't be afraid to like use the Meetup app and just kind of look for things that that you're interested in. Find some groups like that. I mean, they got women that go to these things too, and you can learn how to get comfortable just talking to girls at those
Hmm.
places as well.
Yeah, and I found women at those events are usually more aligned with at least the kind of women that I'm looking for, like girls who like have more of an ambition, like they're working on things. They have more like things going for them usually than if you just find like a random girl at a bar. So going to like networking events, if it's a business thing or if it's just a social event of that kind, usually you find women who are number one open to meeting people because that's why you go to those things. And secondly, they typically have like a lot of things to talk about because they have a lot of interest in a lot of different ventures that they're doing. At least the women that I've met have always had that.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, yeah, and I agree with you. Yeah. Um, and I don't know. I assume too the ones that kind of meet at the meetup groups, I kind of hang out a little bit more that rather than the ones that kind of meet at the bar. But I actually
Hmm.
did. It's weird because I did meet up. There was actually this girl who we met on Tinder, but we never met up, and then we actually hooked up at a meetup. Like we
At the meetup.
realized we had the same numbers, or we realized I went to go get her number. We realized we had the same number and everything. It was so weird.
Wow.
And we got together like the next day. It was weird because it was like at a Christmas party and stuff. It was interesting, but no, definitely a good place to like kind of go and meet like-minded people and stuff. And I've actually I run a group now, so I actually I made a lot of friends just running that group, and that's one of the reasons why I started the group because I know what it's like for people who are single and or maybe people who are transplants from another state. And it's kind of hard for them to go out there and meet people. And that's why I got to do something like this.
Yeah, it's a great way to just be a leader in that situation and just get people together who want to meet. Maybe they're out of town and they're just visiting or something like that. It's a great thing to do. And honestly, I mean think about doing that here because that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Like, no, definitely cool. And so that's another thing you guys can do is just like, yeah, definitely consider meetups and stuff because that's like I said, very good. And then I don't know, I would say as far as like just kind of outside of meetups, what any other things that you come to mind besides just saying the hellos and simple conversation skills?
Yeah, I mean just going to to things that you like going to events that you just generally enjoy. Like if you love music and you see there's a music festival in
Mhm.
town or like a art festival, go to those things. If you're pursue your interests, like go to the things that you're genuinely intrigued by, and it doesn't have to be a meetup event. Maybe it's just an event that's posted on
Mhm.
social media or on like the your local blog or website or something. Go to those
Mhm.
things. Do some research about what's going on in your area, and things you like, and you'll find
Mhm.
people there. Kind of the same effect. Like you'll find people that have similar interests, and it's a really great place to find people there too.
Mhm. No, I would definitely agree too. Like going, like I totally forgot that, but festivals and music events
Yeah,
too. Like you can easily, be around people who are into the same thing right there, and there's your conversation starter right
right.
there. And then you're gonna all have that like I like what Randall said here. He said people like to be around those having fun, and you're all
Definitely.
gonna be having fun at
Hmm.
like a concert. So I mean, it's definitely concerts and stuff are a good thing. Like I always like vibe with people at concerts and shit. I get free drinks from people sometimes
Yeah,
too,
that's
because you
some of
get
the
so
easiest
into
ones.
it, right?
Hmm. Yeah, people are just down to have fun at those type of events, and if you just bring that good energy and just you're curious about someone and you're talking, like you never know where it could lead.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. So, like, what would you say would be some of the okay? We're talking about some action steps to take for that, but like, okay, mindsets like people have to have again for social being social.
Mindsets, I would say probably one of the biggest things is don't take yourself so seriously. I mean, that's probably the biggest one that comes to my mind. Like sometimes we'll have the problem, and I have this problem too. Like you feel like you almost need to be perfect or need to be like robotic. It's like, I have to say this line, I have to do this exactly
Yeah.
the way that I saw in like a video or a book or something. But the biggest thing is like just to enjoy yourself, like have fun, like be almost self-amusing in a way. Just say what you feel like. If there's a joke that you're thinking of and you feel like it's a little controversial, but you think it's really funny, like go ahead and say it.
Mm-hmm.
Just to kind of amuse yourself and have fun with it. So like, don't worry about being so technically sound and doing the right, like the exact things the right way. Like just enjoy yourself and have fun with it, and
Right.
don't
No.
take it so seriously.
Yeah, I agree. That is, and then this goes back to like don't overanalyze stuff. But
Right,
no,
right.
no, I agree. But yeah, don't feel like you gotta be perfect when you're going out there, like having these social interactions. Like I know, just be kind of project. Like say you've had a tired day and you're like, oh crap, I just got to get all stoked. You don't
Hmm.
have to do that.
Right.
And I think that could be a bad thing too, because I mean, not only that can keep us from taking the action of being social, but I mean that will kind of will come off as kind of being robotic if you feel we got to have this attitude and say this and that.
Hmm. Yeah, it gets in the way of you just being authentic and just being your true self. Like if you have all these canned lines in the back of your mind, or you have just this idea of maybe how you should look or how you should
Hmm.
be, it it doesn't really come off as authentic and genuine. And people know when you're not being real. They know when you're kind of like putting on an act or you're trying to be someone that you're not, especially girls. So best thing you can do is like just be your true authentic self, like however that looks in the moment. Like literally,
Hmm.
I was having this conversation with a total stranger before about like, I don't know, we were talking about like carrots or something
Okay.
ridiculous. But it's just we just rolled with it. Like you never know where the conversation can lead, and you just got to be yourself.
Right. You want to hear something funny though? Like probably back at when I did this is probably in the 2000 like yeah late 2000 like 7, 8, 9, 10. I started reading all that mystery method stuff.
Uh
And
huh.
they actually had a book of all these like routines you can use when you go out.
Really?
And I actually I always take some notes in my phone and stuff and just kind of read them and then open up an interaction by
Hmm.
that with that. but I mean, but that was kind of like, after that I just kind of went blank. You know what I'm saying? I go do
Right.
that routine, then I go blank and shit. Have you ever got caught up doing that, like in that phase where you did like the pickup and stuff?
I've definitely been in the position where I had like a list of things to say on my phone, and I went to the mall to go say, okay, I got to hit one, two, and three that I wrote down. And after I was done, and like I did that, I was like, well, what the hell do I talk about now? Like,
Mm-hmm.
where do I go from here? Because like again, I think it comes back to being like that robotic, being super scripted, and not just being fluid and open to it. Because you're not present in the moment with the person you're talking to. You're trying to almost rehearse your lines, and it just you don't have anything after that if that's all you have.
Right. No, I know. I remember like when I didn't know what to say, it'd just be like, basic like one word. I'd ask like the questions with like one word responses and everything.
Mhm.
And then I eventually like I did that for a while. Like even when I got into a relationship and I got out of like talking to women and stuff for a bit, and then after I got out of my last relationship, I went. That's what I kind of went back into. Was like the pickup line stuff because that's what I knew, and I realized like this wasn't really getting me nowhere. I was able to go like talk to girls, yes, but like I didn't, like I said, I thought my conversations were robotic. They weren't authentic. Some of the girls know that shit because the other guys are
Yeah,
saying that too. Like I
right.
remember my one friend, he did I forgot which of the mystery method lines he used, but in one of the ladies is like, "Oh, that's from the pickup artist." I swear to God, I
Oh
like
man,
called them out right in
expose
front
them.
of. That was hilarious.
That'll
But
happen. That'll happen.
yes, but so like I said, when like what we're telling you guys here today is like when I kind of got learned another way of just taking approach to meeting women, and that was just kind of being in the moment, just having normal conversation, not weren't doing any lines and shit. Um, that is like that's when I started to develop my social skills and grow to where I'm at right now. I'm at a point where I'm comfortable with like just saying what's on my mind. I'm at a point where I'm like really, I just I want to see if a girl's serious or not, so I can sometimes be really direct with my intentions when I meet the girl for the first time. I never was like that.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I had the same type of experience. Like I wouldn't be direct, and I would. Here's what I used to do in high school. Like if I liked a girl, I would intentionally ignore her or like not try to go out of my way to talk to her because I thought, okay, if I don't talk to her and hide my intentions, then maybe she'll come around to me and eventually like, oh, she'll just like fall head over heels for me. Crazy dumb logic in the young Tino's mind. But
Right.
I used to just not like be direct or just like express that vulnerability at all. So that was a big turning point for me.
Yeah, and you know what? That's another thing, guys. Like, especially when you're going out there talking to women, like you want to display some sort of interest, like in the conversation, because otherwise she's not going to know. Because they're going to end up in a friend zone, or she's not going to know. You want to be clear with her exactly what it is that you want, or like,
Hmm.
because if you're not clear, then you're going to get sucked. You might be that guy who gets sucked into the friend zone, and she'll like get you to do favors and shit. So
Hmm.
by being clear, I realized, okay, well, someone's not. I communicate to this person what it is I want, and they have a choice to either say yes or no, and there it saves me my time and energy. I'm even like that. Like when I even after I get a number and I'm on a date, I'm very just clear with my intentions right off the bat because like again, I don't want to waste my time. I got so much shit going on in my life right now. It's just like I got to see. I'm down for whoever's going to please me.
Hmm. That's the best way to be, and I totally agree. Like being as direct as possible, like being clear with your intentions, because in my opinion, it's better to be polarizing and get a hell yes or a hell no than to be lukewarm in the middle and a girl's thinking, oh, I don't really know how I feel about this guy. Maybe I'll see him again. Maybe I'll give him I don't know. I'd I'd rather a girl be like completely one way, absolutely want to see him again, or no, get away from me.
Right.
It's much better to be there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and the same thing goes with anything else. I mean, outside of relationships, you want to
Totally.
have clarity in your communication of what it is you want, and as you come work on your social skills over time, you'll be able to be comfortable with being clear. And again, it's all a mindset thing because you know what you want, but you're afraid to ask for it.
Hmm.
And and a lot of us guys still have that problem. They want this girl, they want this, they want that, but they're afraid of being clear with that because they think that if they're clear that they're worried about the reaction. But they're so I think you just got to not give a damn about the outcome. Sure, it'd be frustrating if a girl said no, but hey, there's like a million other girls out there, and the more you do it, the more you're going to increase your chances. Like, and
Right.
like, I still look at even if a girl says no, I still look at it as a win for me because I got off my ass, I took the action, and I put myself forward in front of her. So either way, I win regardless if I get her and it's she's and she's says yes, I'll go out and we hook up. That's the surprise for me.
Exactly. And you bring up a great point. Like, I would much rather live with failing temporarily than live with regret. Like, if I see a girl that I like or see a person I want to talk to, I would want to take that action and completely fail on my face and like get embarrassed. That's worst case scenario. But I would rather do that than wonder to myself for the rest of my life, like, man, what if I just approached this person? What if I made that connection? Who knows where that could have went?
Mm-hmm.
That's a much better place to be, I think.
No, and that is so true because that's another thing you got to think of too, guys. It's better putting yourself out there and seeing if you can get what it is you want instead of having that regret later. That is really good, and when it's weird because when I kind of get in that state of mind where I'm not in the mood to do this and that, I think about stuff like that. I think about
Hmm.
okay, if say like okay, well, hey, I haven't met any new girls lately. Well, you haven't taken the action. You gotta fucking go out there and do it, and then you got to be like, and then, like you said too, have that mindset of like when you want to go talk to someone, just go do it because you don't know what could happen. And like I said,
Yeah.
either way, you win.
Hmm. You do. You either get a potential new connection that could lead to a business related thing, a relationship related thing, anything, or you get someone who you waste maybe, I don't know, 2 minutes of your time and they don't like you and then you can move on. That sounds like a win-win to me. You have a lesson now to find better people that you connect with, or just maybe
Mm-hmm.
change up your approach the next time.
Right. And well, another thing too, what is, a shout out to my mentor, Afi Kingdom here. Like, he always taught me, you know, go. I just go into the interaction too with the person just to see what the vibe is like between the two of you, because you're not going to
Right.
vibe with everyone. I only want to be around
Right.
people who I'm going to vibe, and I realized that,
Hmm.
because that's what I think the ones that you vibe with are the ones you have the most fun with.
Yes, 100%. Like, and that's another point too that I think some guys get caught up on. Like, they almost expect everyone to give them the same energy or to really really like them. And the reality is, you're not going to be for everyone. You're not going to connect with someone in the way that you connect with a really close relationship with a total, like, you're not going to have um, a great vibe with absolutely everyone, and that's okay. It's better to be in that position, because when you find someone that you actually do connect with on that level, it's going to be a real relationship, or whatever that thing ends up being.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I even when it comes to like sleeping with a girl too, like the vibe has to be there for me. Like, 'cause I just can't
Right.
have a vibe. She can be cute, but she's gonna if the vibe, if she's kind of lame, she's
Hmm.
bitchy. I'm not gonna put up with that. I I
Right.
I knew, but I realized though, like the vibe is important. And like like I said, most of the girls who I vibe with are the ones I have the most fun with.
Hmm. Definitely. I mean, the vibe is absolutely critical. Like, especially when you're talking to girls, and if you don't have that mental emotional connection on top of that, it's really hard for me to keep myself interested. I mean, I know some guys like they're just purely physical, and that's really all they want, and they don't really need any depth on top of that. And I've been there in my life too. I think I had a stage where I kind of was like, oh, I just the looks. I don't really care about none of anything else. But it's a world of difference when you're talking to a girl that you have a genuine vibe with than someone who's just really hot and she has nothing else to of value to offer you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and that's true. I mean, and then like I just, how should I say it? And plus, I think, yeah, the fact that you vibe, you have that connection, which is good. And yeah, and it's kind of like more like the looks are more of a flavor if you have the vibe too.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like little sprinkles on top of the cupcake or like icing on top of the cake. I mean, it is important, obviously. Like we want to be with someone we're physically attracted to, um, but the vibe needs to be there too. You know, it's got to have you got to have a balance of both. I think.
Yeah, exactly. And one other thing I think that came to mind, because now that we're on mindset, do you think, because of like all the stuff that we see in the media, or hear about on the news, read on the internet, do you think that's another thing that can cause us as guys to have like social anxiety? Because you hear about like the Me Too movement and
Hmm.
everything, and guys might be afraid to talk to a girl because they're afraid they're gonna be, you know, hashtag Me Too because of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely. I think that definitely plays a role. And I had this one guy comment on one of my videos. I think I was breaking down. Um, remember that Gillette commercial?
Yo, yeah, yeah. A couple of years ago,
With
yeah, I remember that.
like
Yeah.
toxic masculinity they were talking about or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was breaking that down and I had some guy comment on the video. He was like, "Oh, dude, like, how do I approach these girls like you're telling me? Because I feel like she'll eventually want to sue me or something like that, or just like he was saying all this stuff about me too." And I was like, dude, here's the thing about that though. Like, if you do it the right way, then you will never have that problem. Like, girls only think that way when you come off as a creep and you just don't know how to socially calibrate yourself to the situation and you don't know how to read body language and stuff like that. When you're like oblivious to a girl who's completely uninterested, like maybe she's turning her back to you and you just don't understand that means get away from me, that's when that stuff starts to happen.
Right.
But it takes a baseline of just knowing the situation.
Right. Honestly too, like when I was first starting to, be more social with the girls and everything, I was familiar with all that stuff going on, and that kind of did hindered me a bit. That thought
Hmm.
would go back in my head, but I just did it anyways, and I've approached a lot of girls that never happened, and like you were
Yeah.
saying, the more you do this, guys, you're gonna like be able to read like the social cues, the body language, and pick up on whether or not she's interested. And you just she does not interested, just go away. But
Yeah.
I realize if you just go up there and just have a quick conversation or just be direct, and she likes you, not if not, then
Hmm.
don't pursue it anymore. Because I mean because that will come off as creepy if you're just more aggressive like that.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Like body language and vibe and eye contact, all that comes into play. Like a girl will make it obvious when she's really feeling you. I mean, you can tell. Like once you become more aware of it, the more practice you get, you'll notice like girls that are touching you more, they're asking you more questions, like they're being giggly and like bubbly with you, and she's being very feminine. Like you notice those things. Like I remember a couple years ago, I made an approach at a bar, and this girl was like sitting at the bar with her back turned to me. And I approached her. I started talking like, "Hey, how's your night going? Whatever, whatever." And she never really turned her body towards me. She was just constantly turned, completely like she was like peeking over her shoulder at me. And at that point,
Mm-hmm.
I realized like clearly this girl doesn't give a damn about me. So within
Mm-hmm.
like a second or two, I was like, all right, well, have a good night. And I just moved on. It was like you're saying. I mean, I don't want to waste my time with people that aren't interested in talking to me.
Mm-hmm. Right. I know. That's simply what you got to do. And that's why, like, when I know, I don't know what you think about this, but eventually you guys will become good at this, but like, you want to keep your interactions short when you go
Right.
during the day. Cause like, you don't want to, talk to a girl for like, 20, 30 minutes and go for a number, then ask, and then she says no. Kind of want to be in there and out because I mean, you both got shit you got to do during the day. Like she's got to
Right.
be somewhere, you got to be somewhere. So like, I
Hmm.
just like to keep it short and simple, and during
Hmm.
just under like 2 minutes. And I used to that was my problem at first because like I really got into the interaction. I'm like, cool, I'm
Right.
approaching this girl, and I get in these 10, 15 minute interactions. Then sometimes I go for a close, and then they say, oh, I had a boyfriend, or I get a number that I never hear back. It was
Hmm.
like I wasted my time.
Right. Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
do you think like 2 minutes is enough time to build like a sort connection? Like a girl can tell a lot about you, whether she's interested or not in 2 minutes. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think as far as checking the vibe and checking to see if there's mutual interest, I feel like that's something like pretty soon. Like if I'm talking to a girl, I usually know within honestly the first like 30 seconds or so, I can tell like she's either right away interested in me. And at that point, we'll just keep talking and vibing. If it keeps going, I know that clearly there's something here. So
Mm-hmm.
it's something that relatively happens pretty quickly, I think.
So, what do you think are some of the signs that you see that she's interested or not interested that you can share with the
Hmm.
viewers?
Sure. I mean, one of the things that you were saying earlier was, if she's giving you like one word answers and she's being very vague with you, not
Mm-hmm.
being open ended, not really caring about the conversation or investing her opinions, she's not asking you any questions. Those are all signs of disinterest. Um, and even her body language, too. If she's not facing you, she's like maybe, let's say maybe she's at the park or something, and you approach her from the side and she's completely facing the opposite direction, that's saying, "Hey, I'm going to get moving here. I don't really want to spend my time talking to you." That's another indicator too.
Mm-hmm.
So if she's invested in the conversation, she's maybe touching you a little bit, she's being flirty, being playful. Those are signs of interest. Obviously, like she's laughing at
Right.
anything you say, even if it's not funny. That's a huge indicator too.
Right. No, that's true. Oh, another one I'd like to say too is she's like looking at her cell phone while you're talking to
Right.
her. I've
Right.
gotten that a couple times, and I just like, okay, I'll talk to you later. I can tell you're
Hmm.
busy. But you just
Yeah.
gotta go out there. When you go out there and you go interact with ladies, go out there and just if they're not interested, just give them the respect and leave. Just move on to the next one.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's going back to what we were saying earlier about like being outcome independent. Like if she doesn't like you, then she doesn't like you. You're better off without someone who isn't sharing that mutual interest. So, it's not the end of the world. Like even the guys with the greatest game or the best social confidence in the world, I guarantee you that not every single woman is gonna want to be with them, and that's okay. It's not like we said before too. Like not everyone's gonna like you.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, I realized too, like if I got everyone to like me during an interaction, I wouldn't have time to do anything else but date women. I mean,
Right.
it'd be fun, but like eventually it'd get
Hmm.
boring after a while. Then I go broke because I'm going out on all these dates. I have to have them pay for my dates. I have to charm their
Exactly.
panties off if you figure it out. I don't know.
Hmm.
So that's another good thing too. Like when the interaction doesn't work out, you'd be like, oh God, you can say to yourself, at least I don't have to spend time with this girl, even though you wanted to. But you can say you don't have to spend time and money on this with this girl. When you're
Right.
taking this girl out, then you
Hmm.
got to say to yourself, okay, well, great, I can focus on doing that, like doing something else that I need to get done. I'm just glad, like that's another thing I encourage people to do. Like guys, I just think like have something else going on outside of women.
Yes.
Because don't make ladies the primary focus of your life. Because like
Hmm.
when you make that the primary focus, I mean, I was like that at one point. When things aren't going right, you're going to get frustrated, and
Yep.
you're going to start resenting. You're going to say you can't do this. Have something else that you're working on, something that you're good at, and then you know work on that. So when it will help you kind of deal with this whole process, not just getting good women, but with being social too.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad you brought that up because that's something I talk about extensively on my channel. Like, guys, have a purpose, have a focus of something, like goals that you're chasing, getting better at something, doing something outside of just getting girls. Because, like you said, I mean, if that's all you have going on, you're going to be very needy in that interaction because you're
Right.
putting so much energy and so much stock into it. And if it goes wrong, you're like, oh, shit, like, what do I have now? I have nothing. You just have that. So, like, I always stress guys need to have external focus outside of women because, like you said, when you do that and a girl rejects you, for example, you're like, oh, I don't care. You know, I got more time to work on my purpose right now, or I have more time to work on myself. And that's how I
Mm-hmm.
like to approach it. Like if a girl gives me a one-word answer or doesn't text me back or flakes on a date or something, like, okay, I'm gonna do some more work right now. Like I don't really care because
Mm-hmm.
that's my main focus in life.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, and just like make yourself the focus in your life too. Make.
Yeah.
I think we tend to make the mistake of making the women the primary focus, and like this will also. I mean, once you can kind of focus more on you, like it's going to really help with your interactions because you're going to be you're not going to be focusing on like what you got to say to get the woman. You're not going to focus on whether or not she's going to like you or not because you're focusing on yourself.
Yeah, 100%. It helps you in really every area. I don't think there's anything negative from focusing on yourself.
Mm-hmm. Right, and I mean, and like, so that's why it's a good thing to just kind of have like shit going on, and not just make women the lady at the center of the universe. I think, I don't know, why do you think guys make put pedestalize women? Like, what do you think it's just because of they want it so bad, or they just want that sex, or
Yeah, I mean,
because we forget about that we have our own shit going on when
right.
sometimes when it comes to women.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of different reasons. One could be just, you're not realizing your own self-worth. So you're looking for that in a relationship, or you're looking for that in another woman. You think if I get this girl, then I finally will feel fulfilled or confident in myself. And that's like that couldn't be further from the truth. Finding happiness in someone else usually is the way that a lot of guys take it. They think, well, if I just sleep with all these girls or just get as many dates as I can, then I'll finally be happy about myself and I'll finally feel good about who I am. And some guys try to fill that void with women, and I was there too. I in college I was with this girl, and it was to the point where if she didn't text me all day, my day was ruined. Like, couldn't do it. I couldn't survive mentally, emotionally. It was like fucking me up. And if she hit me with a text, like it'd be like a 180. Like my whole day would be better. And that's how like you're so invested in other things outside of yourself, and it really affects your mental health and your like self esteem.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a huge reason, at least one that I had early in life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I think mine was too. Like again, I kind of put women on a pedestal because like I thought like, oh yeah, that's gonna complete me in a way,
Right.
without realizing, because I was looking through all these, every time we tend to look to the external for completing what we need to have in life instead of like looking within.
Right.
And I think as guys, we kind of got to look within ourselves a bit more and focus more with the inner self than what's out there in the inner world, like in the external world. Like, because again, this goes back to being social. You're focusing on like what's going to happen in the real world, and that's going to affect how you feel within it. You got to focus on within and project that to the outer world.
Right. Yeah, spot on. I mean, like if you're focused on your own energy, having a good time, having fun with yourself, and just not caring, that's going to be projected in the interaction. And people are going to be like, yo, this guy is just a fun loving guy. He doesn't really care about much. He doesn't take himself so seriously. And people want to be around that. It's a contagious type of energy.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true. And like I think that's something you guys can develop, like the more you go out there and be social and everything. And I mean, yeah, you can go have a drink or two too, and that can help. But
Sure.
eventually, you want to have that real, like, authentic confidence that you can bring around you without the alcohol. I
Yeah.
will do that when I go to the bar. I will have a drink or two because I do feel that gets me like in the mood, be more social. I mean, not just because I don't know, like I don't know, it's just something that adds like extra fuel to my socials,
Mhm.
like when I'm out at nighttime. But yeah, I don't want to rely on that.
Right, right, and that's the thing with alcohol. Like it lowers your inhibition. So like you just really don't give a fuck if you drink a couple of drinks. You stop caring so much, and it just makes it easier to talk to people. But you're right. Like you don't want to have to rely on alcohol to go out and be social, um, because that can be dangerous territory when you drink exclusively just to talk to girls. And then you start thinking, okay, well, if I don't have a drink, then I can't be charismatic. I can't be confident. I can't talk to people, and that's a dangerous place to be.
Right. No, and that's true. And I think, you know, yeah, I realize that too. Like, 'cause sometimes, like, I don't like, I used to like going to the nightclubs a lot, but I haven't been going much recently. But it's like, I can like, I think to myself, I remember when I used to have alcohol just to be in a social mode and everything. And thank you, Joel, for the nice comment. That is so awesome. That's 100% on that. Um, but the more I went out and without being social, I realized I didn't have to rely on alcohol to
Right.
like be charismatic. And you know what? Another thing too, guys, like, um, we sometimes, yeah, we're gonna get frustrated and like we're gonna get shy, but we have the responsibility. We can take control, like responsibility to change how we feel, like and think about the world around us. We can, if we're thinking we can't be charismatic or energetic at the moment, we can have the responsibility and just think to yourself that we can do it, and then you'll project that. 'Cause sometimes I feel like that helps me out too. Like sometimes we got to take responsibility for our thoughts and the way we feel, and just go out and do it. Because if we don't take the responsibility, like no one's gonna help us, and we're not gonna get shit done.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I like to say to myself, like, if I don't control my thoughts and my behaviors and my emotions, they'll take control of me. So it's being that proactive person to be like, all right, I want to feel this way. I want to do this type of action. I want to be in this mind state, um, and just being proactive enough to go do it because
Mm-hmm.
it's very easy to fall into and let them kind of take advantage. Let your thoughts take advantage of you.
Mm-hmm. Right. And again, that you have to develop discipline. You got
Mhm.
to see discipline comes in. Maybe got to practice that in many areas of our lives. If you
Yeah.
think about this, guys, you're already disciplined. I was thinking about earlier this week about okay, what do I have to develop more discipline in, and because I know I've been lagging on a few things, and it was weird. I was just like, well, I can already have the discipline to go wake up and go to the bathroom if I need to, or
Yeah.
go wash the dishes and stuff
Hmm.
or go cook myself dinner at a certain time. So you can develop the discipline to have this mindset and habit.
Mm. That's a really good point. That's a great point you brought up. Like you have areas in your life where you are consistent, where you are disciplined in something. It's just bringing that over to something that is going to be more productive or push you forward. Like when I was growing up, I was the most disciplined video game player in the world. Literally would go like as
Rock
soon as I
on.
come home from school, I hit on PS2 for like hours on end, and I did not miss a day. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
that discipline was there. Granted, it was in something that probably wasn't the greatest thing for me, but that that behavior of being consistent with something is there. It's just transferring that to something that's gonna push you forward and help you.
Yeah, and you guys can do this with what we're telling you today. Like, if you haven't gone out there, you are trying to be social with people, you can make a habit of doing this. And like we were saying earlier, start by taking a simple action. If you're just say hi and hello to people. To challenge yourself, do that for a week, and then like figure out, okay, well, I'm getting bored with saying hi and hello. What am I going to challenge myself to do like next week? I mean, and this is eventually how I got it when I was working with my mentor. Like I got like he gave me challenge. I worked with him every week, and there would be one new challenge I do every week, and each challenge was different from the other one. I like the one that was really hard to do. I'm not gonna lie. Is I had to walk in and approach girls in a Victoria's Secret,
Oh yeah.
or go into a makeup store and talk to girls. But I did that
uh,
though. It really wasn't that bad afterwards.
mhm. Yeah, that one's a little intimidating because you
Yeah.
gotta. It's in an environment clearly where you're as a man, like you're not as expected to be there. So girls are like, "Yo, what's this guy doing in Victoria's Secret, like walking around?"
I did normally say I'm looking for a gift for a friend.
Yeah, right. Shopping for mom or something.
Or just killing some time, right? But I just say kill some time before I go to the movies. But like, again, guys, again, you want to challenge yourself to like, okay, like I said, you do that action that's going to make you comfortable, then challenge yourself to do something that's going to make you uncomfortable and have the discipline to go out there and do it. And then you'll see, like the more you set challenges, um, for your social life or any other areas in your life, like you will have successes, and you're gonna have those moments where you feel stuck, but you just got to keep on just being persistent at it, and eventually you'll pull through.
Right. Yeah, it just takes persistence.
Right. So, any last questions? Want to get the final thought before we end the show here?
Yeah. Um. Man, we covered a lot of good things.
Yeah. We'll
Um.
have to talk more about this on our next one. Well, I actually think I want to do like a video breakdown next time or something. Maybe we
Yeah,
can get
that'd be
some
fun.
clips and stuff. That would be awesome. We'll do like you pick up a show. I got Californication. We can do that, or we can
Okay.
do whatever you other movies you might think might be good, and we can do something for our viewers next time.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever. I mean, I'll do some research and look at some clips or whatever. But yeah, I'm a huge movie buff, so there's a ton of scenes that we can definitely break down.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, I didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah, you can go do your final thought
Sure.
here. It just came to mind.
Yeah. I mean, final thoughts. I'd say. Hmm, Well, I guess I'll be a little philosophical on you guys. So
Okay, cool.
the kind of guy that you're searching to be, like this confident guy, approach people who can be social, who can be charismatic, or a guy who is um, believes in himself, a guy that is very high value, and the best version of yourself. That guy is in there. You have that in you. It's just a matter of finding it and really nurturing that part of yourself because it is there. It's just getting yourself to see it and putting in the work to really enhance that part of yourself. So it's just about doing the inner work and focus on yourself.
Yeah, that's very good. And I would have to say the same thing, guys. Like, I'd say go out there. You guys are all capable of, developing your best self. Like, you're gonna go. I say go out there and do it. You're gonna have moments where you doubt yourself, but you're gonna pull through and you're gonna do it and kick butt. And the more and you want to have like some setbacks because like you're gonna become stronger because you'll learn from those how to become a better person. So you want it to be you want things to kind of be rough along the way because that's going to make you
Sure.
stronger and wiser, and then it's going to prepare you for other stuff.
Mhm.
So you but you can all go out there and like start doing these social skills today and take the action and go out there, just start think of one thing you're going to do um, next week that will help get you rolling with your social skills, or think of something you got to work on currently that's holding you back, and go out and do it next week. And I just give you guys that challenge to go do that, and well, let us know in the comments here what it is, and if you did that challenge, we'll hold you accountable to it.
Heck
But
yeah.
but we would definitely encourage you to do that. And where can they find you? Uh,
Yeah, if you guys want to find my YouTube channel, it's just The Sophisticated Man. You just put it up in the search bar, you'll probably find it. If you want to find me on Instagram, it's just my name, Tino underscore Regano, Rigano. And you'll find my Insta there. And if you want to look at my website, it's just thesophisticatedman.net. You guys can check it out.
okay, cool. And I'll put the Instagram and the YouTube in the description later on when I go and update it. And thank you very much, guys. And we'll be back with you and doing the show together in a few weeks from now. We'll do a video breakdown like we're talking about. I'm not sure what it will be, but we'll keep you all notified about that. So if you haven't already, please remember to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for the notification so you get that notification. Like the video, and if you found this video to be insightful, we spent some fire game. Be sure to share it on your Facebook and social media. Get the word out here, because we're all on a quest here to become better guys, and so we can level up and start creating the lives that we want for ourselves. So we really appreciate you all tuning in, and we'll catch you soon. I'll be on again next week with a guest. I'm not sure who I'm having on yet, but I will keep you guys posted on that on my social media. So until next time, guys, take care and rock on and continue to